starting? Okay. Well, you keep going. Are you ready? 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 Are you ready for this?
Come on, let's do this. It's getting hot. I'm hungry.
You're grumpy.
I am grumpy.
Alright, guys. Ready?
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Foster Care Friday. Today we are going to talk about how to get licensed to become a foster parent. So
Right.
we're going to explain what we know to you and kind of an idea how to get you started.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go. That's basically what you do. That's how to be a foster parent.
So now you can be a foster parent. Good luck. So, what is the process to become a foster parent? And it may vary between states, so we're speaking on our experience here in Texas, but I think a lot of them seem to be similar from what we've read and what
Right.
we've researched. So, where do you start? Well, there's a couple different paths that you can take. So what's the first path? You can do
CPS.
you can do it through CPS,
Yep.
and they'll get you licensed, or a foster adoptive agency.
Right. And I think there are just foster care agencies, and then there's just adoptive agencies too. So you want to make sure if you're looking to adopt, you're in the right kind that you can adopt from.
Yes.
If the opportunity arises. If you're looking just to foster, then maybe you just want just a foster one, and you want to make sure you don't end up in just an adoption one. So the easiest thing to do is to just start Googling it. Look
Yeah.
up CPS's information, maybe have a meeting with them and find out information. Find a few different agencies and look into them and see what's going to work best for you. That's
Right.
one mistake we kind of made, is we just kind of jumped onto the first agency we found and came up with and went with them. And we
Right.
kind of wish we would have looked around a little
Right,
bit
yeah.
more, because different strokes for different folks. There
Right.
probably would have been one that would fit us a little bit better.
They're a non-profit business, but each one has different things they can offer and help
Right.
you with. And one may have better training schedule, and one may just be closer. Whatever they may fit your needs better.
Right.
But just to point out that the difference between being licensed for foster care and a license to be adoptive is not that much different. There's only a few extra.
It's only
pieces.
one piece of paper.
Well, for us, yeah, it was only one extra piece
Yeah.
of paperwork. So it wasn't like this really hard piece of paperwork. It's just you fill it out and
Right.
you turn in, and that's really it. It wasn't a big difference between the two. So you can get licensed, even if you don't think you're gonna adopt. You never know when you get these beautiful 3 little girls in your house, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're great.
They've been here 2 weeks, and we will keep them forever.
Right. And then a chance may arise where you can,
Yes.
and you don't want to part with them. So we recommend taking an extra step just in case. It's easier to do it up front, and then you're prepared
Yep,
from
do
the
your,
beginning.
do your research and
Yep.
find what's going to work for your family.
Yep.
Because there are even things, one big thing we did look into is just beliefs on whether we ended up adopting kids and then would want to still foster, or if we end up having biological kids. We wanted to know what medical care was required for our kids. So like for us, that was one thing that we wanted to make sure of.
Right.
And make sure it fit our needs, or it met our needs in order to what we kind of saw for the future of our family. So that's something you're going to want to make sure of too, is just kind of look and see, you know, like, are all my kids, I don't think this is even a thing, but do all my kids have to be in school, even my biological ones? That's not even a thing, I don't think. But,
Right.
you know, just something that, like, you know, opposed to homeschooling, like something that may be a game changer for you for using a different agency.
Right.
So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look into and find either agency or CPS,
Yep.
and then you're going to set up your training. So for us here in the state of Texas, with our agency, we were required 50 hours of training.
Wait, before we did that though, we had to do a stack of paperwork.
Oh, that's right.
Like a background information, because they got to do a background checks on you. They want to make sure that you're a upstanding citizen. You're going to treat the kids well. You don't have, say, if you have your own biological kids, you don't have previous CPS history, anything that would throw off where these kids would not be protected and taken care of and loved like they should. So you actually start with a stack of paperwork, and they ask you a lot of questions. They go through all.
A stack.
Yeah.
Stack, guys. That's each person.
Yeah,
And there's
so-
a lot of stuff. It's like, I mean, honestly, they want to know who the people are that are going to be around kids kids often. Say like our parents, they wanted their information, even though they weren't going to be around them often. But like,
Right.
they wanted to know their names and stuff. to kind of check to see if, you know, if they had any things in the background. They wanted to know, like, any friends that be around them often, kind of what our past was, if we had been abused, if we had been neglected, what our childhoods were like, what our discipline was like, there was all sorts of questions. How many dogs we had, what kind of dogs they were, and make sure they were up to date on vaccinations and stuff like that. So it's a huge stack of paperwork you go through first, and then you head into your training.
And then, well, you gotta get a couple letters of recommendation, so from like family members, and they just write out why they think you'd be a good fit for it. And then then you go to the training. So we had quite a few weeks where it's just like 1 or 2 nights a week where we go for a few hours and do training, and because you had to do so many classroom hours and then so many online hours. So I think it was like 45, 50 hours total of training. And you're not like required to do it, like, you have time to do it, but just know, like, most of these classes are good for a year. So if it takes you a year, by the time you get licensed, you may have to be starting to take classes over again.
Which for some people is fine, because then they can spread it out. For other people, it's just that they want it all done in a chunk and all done at once, which that's kind of how we did it. We got all of our training done at one time, and then we were good to go till we hit that year point, which we're kind of where we're at now, where we're supposed to start renewing our foster care license and stuff like that, you know, for continuing to foster. So we got that stuff done, and basically the training, some of it sit down and talk, and let's be real, and, you know, we heard some storytelling about, you know, cases that had happened, how to handle situations, like discipline situations, because it is different with foster kids than it would be with biological kids. You do have rules you have to follow. So how to handle those things, a lot of things on we were taught how to kind of keep a lookout for
signs of abuse,
and neglect, and just things, you know, if you have a kid that hoards food or
what does that
stuff
mean?
like that.
It's about the psychological and the rules is all the training's about. They don't really teach you, so like we don't have kids, they didn't teach us anything about kids. Literally, we learned nothing on how to care for a kid.
I was reminded how to change a diaper on the first day. He learned how to change a diaper on the first day.
And by the first day, that's the first day that we had children placed in our home.
Yes.
Not the first day of training. The first day children were placed in our home is the first time that we changed diapers. Or I ever changed a diaper. And she had to basically refresh herself pretty quickly.
Yes.
So it's all about, like, just, you know, we've learned a lot too, and just even now how things as a child, their development affects them as they grow older. And you start to see stuff now. You see older people and the way they act, like that's because of them things. So yeah. But the trainings are, you know, you're still gonna have to learn how to take care of your kid outside of the training if you don't have any. But
a lot of it's like psychological stuff, learning how abuse and neglect it affects the brain, and how to watch out for things, how to handle things. You know, if a kid tells you, hey, I've been sexually abused, how to report that, how to do your weekly notes, stuff like that. So it's basically the training for the things that you just need, that you're going to have to take care of. All the training on the stuff where to let you know that, you know, they need a doctor's appointment 30 days and dentist in 90 days. So basically it's giving you all that information. So once that is done, then we are kind of in the process of taking classes. There's other paperwork you're going to be doing. They also run FBI background checks. So
we had to be background checked, and that includes fingerprinting. So that we had to go get fingerprinted, background checks, and it doesn't matter what your job is. If you have other background checks, they still background check you no matter what you do.
They want to make sure that you don't have any CPS history.
Drug history,
they watch
financial
for certain things.
issues. So
which basically with financial things, I've heard people say, just a quick note on this, that they're worried because financially they don't make a ton of money. The kids financially are taken care of through foster care. You're going to be provided through foster care enough money to care for them.
Right.
And the way the lady did our training described it, she's like, as long as you can take care of your crap, they don't care. Like, if you're paying your bills, it's fine. Just if they find that you're about to lose your house and you want to take in 6 foster kids, they may think that you're trying to abuse the system.
They're going to question that,
They're going to question why you're doing it.
Right.
So they run the background checks on you, and then they also will get paperwork for any friends or family that are going to be around the kids often, or that are going to be babysitting the kids or doing what's called respite. We'll explain that in another video.
Right.
But so they do background checks on those people if the people are from out of state. We had one friend that had lived out of state within the last 5 years. They fingerprint that person just to check them in their last state too, to make sure that they, weren't child abusers there,
right,
and that sort of thing. So they go through that paperwork. And was there anything after that? I'm trying to think.
I think that was it. Once you get everything done and you get all that stuff submitted, then they come for the home study.
Oh yes, the home inspection, which you are going
Home
to have
inspection.
a fire inspection.
Yes. Yeah, do a fire inspection. So fire inspector, chief fire department comes out and they just make sure you got smoke detectors that work, you have the correct fire extinguishers in an accessible location,
and that there's not just stuff around it, like your windows aren't blocked and stuff. The basics. If you're a normal person with a normal house, you probably might have to buy a fire extinguisher, and that's basically it. Like
or smoke detectors, because each room has to have a smoke detector.
Yeah.
So,
but most houses do.
And I think that was, and then it goes into the home inspection. So actually, that's when CPS, if you go through CPS or the foster agency, comes out to your home and they inspect your home, and they look for.
And they are doing a home inspection and a health inspection also.
Right.
The health inspection is obviously to make sure you have
running water,
health stuff,
that your house is livable.
Clean.
It's clean. It's adequate to take care of, raise children in it. It's not, you don't have holes in the wall, the outside.
Mm-hmm. And then for your actual home inspection, what they're going to do is basically they are going to check things like they're going to want you to have plug covers, safety locks on the cabinets, which all that stuff's reviewed in your training as well, so you know ahead of time.
And it also depends on what age kids you have too.
Right,
obviously, you have a 15-year-old, they're going to know how to open the child safety locks on the cabinets. But a 1-year-old that doesn't know any better cannot.
Yeah, they're going to want safety locks, which some of you guys may have those already anyways.
Right.
So and they're just going to want things like to make sure your guns are locked up and stuff properly if you have guns,
so
any
yes,
chemicals.
you can have guns.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure they're locked up and they're not accessible to the kids at any point in time, whether you're home or you're gone, they cannot get to them. So I know a lot of people do ask that, but you can have guns.
Yes.
So.
And there was even paperwork that we got that said you're not allowed to have guns in your home in the state of Texas. It's not accurate.
Right.
But again, check with your state, check with your agency, check with CPS, whoever you're working with, and they will give you the regulations on everything you need.
Yeah.
And as long as you follow the rules, you'll be good to go for your home inspection and stuff. And they just make sure, they walk in the bedroom, so like, all right, you have beds, you have bedding, you have a dresser. It looks like a child's room. And you're good to go.
You're not putting them in a closet.
Right.
It's an actual room. There's a window. You have toys. You don't have to have a ton of toys, but you have some toys.
Yeah, we just had a few things at first.
Yeah, we had a few things.
We didn't have much.
Because we didn't know exact ages, because like a 1-year-old has a lot different toys than a 3-year-old.
or 4-year-old.
And we were licensed up to, I think, 4 years old.
Yeah.
So like a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, so we didn't really have many toys. We just had a few things for basically each age. So, just enough to get you started.
So once your home inspection is done, at that point, was our stuff sent through? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
I think once all of our stuff had been sent through for our home study, which the agency takes care of that for us, is the way it worked. I think it works that way for everyone, I believe. Yeah. So our home study was getting all prepared and stuff. So once they did that home inspection,
that's it.
They're like, you're good.
Right. And then
we may call you like tonight.
We may bring your license and some children
at the same time. Which did they do that?
No, they didn't do that with us. We got our license like a few days before they called it our first set of kids. Yeah.
But you could get a call like as soon as they say that's good to go. You could get a call that day, and it's not uncommon to get kids in your license in the same moment.
Right.
So that's the process. The thing is, you're walked through the process with them. They tell you what to do. Here's what you do next. Here's what you do next. We started off with a yellow folder, and they said when you're done, then we'll give you the blue folder. Like everything's not dumped on you and figure it out. Like you're taking through it step by step.
Right.
It took us. We moved and stuff in the process of doing our stuff too. But I would say you could probably get licensed in a matter of 4 months.
It took us 6 months still. We started in October, and we finished we were licensed in April.
If you really plugged your way through it, I would say you could probably even do it in maybe 3 months.
Right.
But that all depends on how fast the FBI works for your stuff too.
Right. So because we had to do depends on if your house is prepared and ready.
Yeah.
Then you're just gonna be a lot faster. We had to do some work on our house.
We had to move.
Well, we had to move. We're in the process of moving, so we had to get basically prep bedrooms and take all the stuff that shouldn't be, all the boxes and stuff.
Right. So that's the process of getting licensed for foster care.
Right.
If you have any questions, let us know. Leave them in the comments.
Yeah.
Again, check with your state for sure. Everything's different per state, per agency, per county. I know there's counties close by that have much different rules compared to what we have. So always check, do your research. Google will help you. As long as you're able to get to the source, get to CPS, get to an agency, they're going to walk you through the whole process.
The state's website.
Yep, go to your state website and look at it. So that is how to get licensed to be a foster parent.
Yes.
So if you're ready, start your Google search
and make a call.
Get rolling.
Start making some phone calls. All right, we'll see you.
All right, bye.
Bye.